how to optimize the allocation of your portfolio. So guys, today I'm going to present a tool that I use to help me in the allocation of my portfolio. So this is not the holy grail, this is not the absolute truth, but it's something that I believe is very helpful and I believe you will love it. So let's get right into it. This Google Sheet is the same where I have all my 4 dimensions valuation framework. So you can find everything in the same Google Sheet and you can get it for free. In the description, you find the link to the Business Ontology Community. It's a Telegram group, and pinned you have the link to access this model. So let's get right into it. So first of all, you need to get this done. This is done on the base of my valuations. Use yours, or if you use mine, do your own due diligence, right? Do not copy what I'm doing, guys. Do your own research. So how do you use it? So first here, the stock, you put all the ticker symbol. Don't be wrong, because then the current price, it's pulled in automatically with the API from Google Finance on the base of the tickers that you put here. So once you have done it here, you put your worst case, normal case, best case scenario. So these need to be 25%, 50%, and 25% probable of happening. So when you do your target prices, your valuations, just think about it. When you do the assumptions, what are the assumptions that I think are 25% probable and what 50% probable? So worst, normal, and best case scenario. So once you have done this, and by the way, the blue cells are the input cells where you need to provide your inputs, then the model automatically calculates the expected return, okay, by weighting the worst, normal, and best case return. So once this is done, then we use an add-on that you can get for free. I believe, even if, not sure about this, but I believe even if you download my model, you still need to get the extension. So it's called Open Solver, and you can get for free from the Google Marketplace. So once you have downloaded this, open sidebar here, and here you are. Then how to use this? This is nothing else than an optimizer. So basically it's an algorithm that is optimized by some cells and constraints. So in this case, it is maximizing the cell B32. What is the cell B32? Is this cell, and it is the portfolio expected return. So what it does, it changes the allocation that are these and are among the variable cells here. These are the cells that it changes, and try to get the highest possible number here. Okay, so it's maximizing the portfolio expected return by changing the allocation of each stock. So what are the inputs here? So the inputs are the inputs that you need to give to the model, that are its constraints. So B29 equal to D29. B29 is this one. So the sum of weights of all the allocation must be 100%, of course, right? Then second one is the portfolio worst case return is, and you are required to give these inputs. This is just copying this cell. So maximum drawdown. So here you say, of course, this determines your risk profile, right? The highest is the drawdown that you are willing to experience, and the most you can push to asymmetric bet, maximizing the most portfolio return. Okay, so guys, one important note here: the fact that here you put 30% or even 0% of drawdown does not mean that your portfolio with this allocation will never experience a drawdown. So guys, this is not financial advice, and this model is not, as I said, the holy grail, is not the absolute truth. It's just an indication. So one question that you're going to ask is, when is this expected return or this drawdown? Well, guys, this depends on the number that you put here, right? If your target prices are now, like mine, I do a discounted cash flow. So this is the actualization of the value of the company. Now, this does not mean that if you put 0% here, your portfolio will never go in a drawdown under the water. It will happen. How I think about this can help you, but of course, it's still indicative. Let's say if you are in the worst case scenario, or even in a worser than the worst case scenario, because the market is in a temporary panic selling, your stock are out of favor, whatever. How I think about it is that the market will probably take from 6 months to, or may take from 6 months to 12 months to reprice the upper scenario. So if you are even lower than the worst case, and that means even lower probably of your maximum drawdown, within 6 to 12 months, probably the market is going to re-rate your stocks to a worst case scenario. If you are in the worst case scenario, probably 6 to 12 months is going to re-rate to normal case, and same for best case. Of course, best case could never happen, but at least to normal case. Of course, guys, this is all indicative, no financial advice. Use this model, this tool only as an input. Okay, let's move forward. Now, what are these other constraints? This we have said. B18 greater or equal than C18. And then you will see that also you have B18 less and equal than D18. And then the same for all the cells below. So what it is about? Well, the allocation must be higher than the minimum allocation and lower than the maximum allocation. Again, these are numbers that you input in. It depends on you. Of course, if you put 0%, it means that it could not allocate anything, the model, the optimizer, to this stock for some reason. So I want, at least for my philosophy, it's again about you, about your decision, I want at least a 5% allocation. This is because it's a concentrated portfolio, it's 9 stocks, so it doesn't make any sense to have a stock that has less than 5% of the portfolio allocation. Maximum is 25 allocation. This is for to manage risk. Okay, these are the two input value that you set, the maximum allocation on each stock and the maximum drawdown, that can tell the optimizer to be a bit more conservative, right? So I put 25% here. It's again, mine is a concentrated portfolio, but you may even put 10% or 15%, whatever. So now we can make it run. You click here, solve model, and you see, look at this cell, optimum allocation, that now the model is basically trying all the numbers until it finds what are the numbers here that make this the maximum possible. Here you are. So now you got the maximum allocation of 25% to Oddity, HIMS, and Meli. So why is that? Well, because if you go here, Oddity, HIMS, and Meli, they are those, yes, likely with the greatest best case return. And they even have a very good worst case return. So these are ideal because they are very asymmetric. In the worst case, you make a few money. In the best case, you make a lot of money. So that's why the algorithm allocate the most to these stocks. You may have some other stocks that are also good return. In the best case, like take Lemonade, but in the worst case, they have a negative return, like minus 10%. So it is giving less allocation to these stocks. Of course, the result of this exercise is given by the input that you give to the model. What it's doing is just an optimization algorithm. So it's doing a mathematical calculation to optimize the value on the base of the input that you give to it, right? Guys, I hope you enjoyed this and join the channel and the community. Ciao.